What's up, everyone? My name is Tony Hughes, and welcome to another video. We've been talking about good news because that's what we want to hear. When we focus on Jesus, phenomenal things happen. So the question I have for us today is this. Can you sympathize with Jesus? Is he relatable to us? Does he understand what we're going through? We kick off our journey on Mark chapter 15. It's going to be a crazy time, okay? It says this, the soldiers led Jesus away to the palace and called together the whole company of soldiers. They put on a purple robe on him, then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on him. They began to call out to him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And again they struck him on the head with a staff and they spit at him. Falling on their knees, they paid homage to him. And when they had mocked him, they took off the purple robe, put on his own clothes, and they let him out to be crucified. Time out, pause. We need to unpack this, but I need to give some backstory. The night before, Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane and he's praying 3 prayers. He's saying, I don't want to go through what I'm getting ready to go through. And he has anxiety. He's arrested, betrayed, disowned, rejected, abandoned by all of his friends. Okay, all of his followers at this particular time. And the leaders and teachers of the law are questioning him. They lie about him. And they ask him a specific question. They say, are you the Messiah? Are you the Son of God? And Jesus said, I am. And because of that decision and choice of Jesus saying, I am, they respond out of anger and frustration. And they lead him off to be crucified. So the soldiers take Jesus with the whole company of soldiers and they start mocking him. They start insulting him. They start making fun of him. They actually clothe him in purple robe. And that purple signifies royalty at that particular time. They put together a crown of thorns and crammed it on his head, and they bowed before him and saying, Hail, King of the Jews! Right? They're insulting him and making fun of him. And it says they beat him and they spit at him. This is a tough night. So the question we have to ask ourselves, honestly, is this. Have you ever been insulted and mocked? Have you ever been made fun of? I think Jesus is relatable. Let's keep going. Then it says this, moving a couple of verses forward, it says, in the same way, the chief priests and the teachers of the law mocked Jesus among themselves. He could save others, they said, but he can't save himself. Let this Messiah, the King of Israel, come down now from the cross that we may see and believe. Those crucified with him also heaped insults on him. So the teachers of the law look at Jesus dying on the cross. He's hanging there, dying in pain and agony. And they say, he can save others, but he can't save himself. Yeah, it must be the Son of God. A lot of these teachers of the law saw Jesus perform miracles. They saw Jesus do phenomenal things, and yet their heart are so hard that they're unwilling to seek truth and be honest truth seekers. But rather, they're mocking him, making fun of him, and being cocky and saying, he's not the Son of God. Oh yeah, he can control the weather. Oh yeah, he can raise people from the dead. But he can't take care of himself on the cross. He's not the Son of God. It's on their terms that they want Jesus to do what they want, right? But here's the point of this verse. Jesus was mocked while in pain. So the question I have to ask you and myself is this. Have you ever been insulted and made fun of when you were actually experiencing pain in your life? Something happens in your family. There's a death or there's a divorce and people make fun of that. Maybe you had a loved one die and you have some bully jerk at school saying, hey, your so-and-so friend died or your brother died, and they mock you, insult you. If that ever happened, I'm sorry. But the reason why I use that as an example is because sometimes in our lives we forget that Jesus went through similar things. At this time, he was mocked in his pain and in his struggle. Let's keep going. Jumping down a couple more verses, it says, at noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. And Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? For the first time in Jesus' life, he was separated from his Father. Question, have you ever felt abandoned by God? Jesus has experienced that right now. So Jesus is physically struggling and he's been abused. He's emotionally struggling because people are taunting him and insulting him and mocking him. And Jesus is what? Spiritually struggling because he's not with the Father. He feels abandoned. He feels alone. And then the verse that we have to discuss is in Mark 15:37. It says, with a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last and he died on that cross. Question, why did he have to die? Because he cares. I haven't experienced death. I know I will die someday, but Jesus died. He went through that pain. He went through that fear, that nervousness of, I don't know what it's going to look like when I die. But he went through that. Why? Because Jesus cares for mankind. Now, if you were to think, Tony, what is the point of all this? The point is this. Is Jesus relatable? As you go through Mark 14 and 15, in this historical account that tells history, we'll see through eyewitnesses that people saw Jesus go through pain. Emotionally, physically, psychologically, whatever the case may be. And we go through pain. And he is relatable. This is the point. Jesus claimed to be God. He performed miracles to confirm his message. And he went through life and he's saying, come follow me. I want to follow that guy, right? Because he overcame these struggles. And he's saying, you can overcome them too. I love the fact that Jesus died because he died for a purpose. What motivated him to do that? Love, 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 love. Why is he showing compassion? Love. Why does he heal the man that is even possessed? Love. Why was there a little girl dead and this man came to him and said, can you heal my daughter? And he's like, yeah, I can. Love. Everything is love, driven by love. Do you think Jesus had the ability to get off that cross? Yeah, he did. If he can calm a storm, he can take himself off the cross. But he did that to fulfill a purpose, and we'll talk about that later on. But we have to focus on this. Is Jesus relatable? Yeah, absolutely. And that's good news for you. That's good news to me because you're not alone. I'm not alone. God understands what it's like to live as a human being. He understands what it means to wrestle physically, emotionally, psychologically. We can trust him. We can go on a journey with him. So here's your challenge. Grab this historical, accurate account of God's journey with mankind because he's trying to speak to you and to me. Open up the Gospel of Mark. Read it for yourself. My challenge is this. Be a truth seeker. Be a truth seeker. Seek the truth. Question Jesus and see how relatable and how amazing he is. I hope you're encouraged. I hope you're doing well. I love you, and I'm excited to talk to you soon.